Yeah. Before we get into the lunch hour, breaking news has come across the Rap Roundtable desk. It's your boy Jarv alongside Macito. Sorry,
Yeah.
Sin and Dini couldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? But you got us. Nevertheless, breaking news, Mace. Breaking news. The new Travis Scott album has dropped, Utopia. No, we're
Right.
not reacting to that just yet. If you want the Rap Roundtable's reaction to Utopia, make sure you pull up to the live this Monday. You know
Yeah.
how we do with the lives. Tap in this Monday. Full breakdown of the Utopia album, or as full as we can get, because we know that this ain't a bar heavy album. It's heavy on the musicality, and we'll break that down as well. Because we do everything here at the Rap Roundtable. We don't stay in one
Sure.
corner. We all over the block. But OVO Macito. Aubrey has some bars for the God Pusha T. Usually I ramble and I throw the alleys, but I'm gonna go stand in the corner and wait for the pass. I'm giving this ball to you for the full ISO off the rip. What are your thoughts on the Aubrey
Heavy.
bars for the Virginia wing of hip hop?
Right. Listen, heavy balls, man. Like, not on Drake talking kind of crazy on here. You know what I mean? I ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna lie. Listen, just like you said, we're gonna give you the full breakdown of the Travis joint, but we had to immediately go to this meltdown joint. Listen, Drake don't even he rapping off rip on here. He's giving obvious subs to Push. He throwing Pharrell in there. He
Mm-hmm.
letting you know him and his niggas ain't wearing Louis. He letting you know he lucky that, because Vogue is suing Drake in 21, for the
Mm-hmm.
fake cover. You say he lucky they suing him and his goons might have had the touchdown on Push, you know what I mean, when he was at his little show, his little Louis show where he sending shots at the copper with OVO Jimmy.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So
Wow.
listen, Drake talking kind of crazy on her. He's mid tour. It's all a blur tour. He doing
Mm-hmm.
his thing. He's in studio mode. He's alluding to this For All My Dogs album. He
Mm-hmm.
said, you know what, Push? I ain't really fuck with them bars you sent at the OVO Capo. They wasn't strong enough. I'm feeling like you weak right now. So I'm going to pull your card a little bit. You know what I mean? Now, like we know, I'm the OVO wing of the round table. I guess we can't say good music anymore, but I would say if there's a clips portion of the Rap Roundtable, Job is on the team. So Job, I drew the defense in. You know what I mean? I caught the double team. I'm kicking it out, bro.
Yo, it's definitely re-up gang job over here, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm outside. Now I'm outside. The bars in question says, let me read this. I melt down the chains that I bought from your boss. Give a
Yeah.
fuck about all that heritage shit. Since Virgil not around, the members that hung up the Louis, they not even wearing that shit. Poor Virgil can't even rest in peace.
What
Yeah.
happened to Virgil indeed?
You know what I'm saying? Then you threatening fashion shows? The boy is really outside, ladies and gentlemen. He's saying that yet again, proving the Rap Roundtable and hip hop fans across the board right, because it's not just
Right.
us. The story of Adidon. The longer we move away from it, we'll live in infamy. It might not today because we know the 80s and 90s, Hov versus Nas, all the different diss records. But
Right.
for me, the most reverberating, shifting, soul touching, best diss record of all time, as time continues to go along, will be Story of Adidon, because Drake can't let it go. That's where I'm at with this, Mason. The fact that he keeps circling back to it. He can't move on. He keeps referencing Pusha. Pusha lives in this man's dreams. He lives in his nightmares. Word to Meek. He done made up with Meek, dropped a hit record with Meek, but he can't get over his favorite rapper, Pusha T, touching his soul, ripping his heart out, exposing him for being a non-existent dad to a baby with a porn star. He can't shake it. He's blocked Pusha T from features, had verses snatched off. I always talk about that Mississauga verse on Push that was magnifique. That verse only exists in my phone now because you can't get it nowhere. little touch of bars. Pusha T is always talking to Drake, but it's almost like Pusha T mocks Drake, and Drake just gets mad and wants to snuff Pusha. Everybody know Drake not tough, but for some reason, because he didn't even talk this tough to Meek.
Right, he didn't even talk this stuff to Meek, bro. That's a fact.
He talks very tough to a nigga that nobody believes. You can't beat him. Nobody believes you, Aubrey.
Nah.
We believe you just as much as you believe that that's your hair in them braids. We know those shit is extensions, nigga.
Shouts to Fetty Wap, man.
You know what I'm saying? Bam. But beyond the Drake slander, because I do like me some Drake music, these bars are sharp. Now, Mace, we're here at the breaking news desk. People are filing in. We here at the Rap Roundtable. I don't know if anybody else said it, but we said that Capo was doing all of this on behalf of Aubrey.
Right.
Motherfuckers like to talk about chess, but I'm starting to speculate, reckless speculation here at the Rap Roundtable, that Pusha T already knew that Capo was a hired gun and was waiting for Aubrey to come out the bushes before he decided to then respond to both Capo and fucking Drake. He was waiting the whole time because he knew that Capo would not do this on his own. He was doing this at the behest of Aubrey. Aubrey got impatient, and of course, who doesn't like the clout like Aubrey? Why not do it on the Travis Scott rollout? Everybody's gonna talk about his verse. All my dogs is on the way. We was already dissing niggas a couple weeks ago during the tour. Now we're dissing Pusha T and Pharrell. Pharrell catching a stray. You was dick riding Pharrell for the chain. Now you mocking him. You bought him. What does the OVO wing of hip hop have to say about all of this? Is Adi Don the ether that burns slow?
Listen, man, wouldn't you be upset about Adidon? Listen, us OVO fans, we still mad about it too. I'm not gonna lie, man. Listen, one of the most, just like you say, of all records in the last 20 years, you know what I mean? Post, you know, Jada Beans, local celebrity rapper Nas, you know, like, have there been a more lethal diss record? You know, 50 had his at Ja, you know, like, I know Gucci Mane got a crazy one, but listen, story of Adidon shook up the world. Let's be honest. Like, everyone was talking about this shit. Social media, off social media. This was one of those type of joints. So, of course, Drake has, you know, one of the most spectacular losses in rap history. Now, now with the reckless speculation. Listen, at this point, I'm kind of wondering. You know what I mean? Like, Drake, we know the calculation. Like, if there's other than Push, right? Drake might be the most calculated motherfucker in the game himself. You know what I mean? So it's like, Drake know what it's like to feel the knockout punch. You know, when you were describing his feelings for Push, I started to think to myself, is Push Ivan Drago? You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, man, might be.
Then Drake is Apollo.
Do you feel me? You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, man, like, listen, Drake, I don't feel like he would try to lure him out without something up his sleeve, man. Like,
nah.
What you was about to say, or I wanted to hear what you was about to say.
I'm transforming into Sincere the Rap Snob.
What's happening?
This is all part of the rollout. What better way to fan the flame for what's it called? For my dogs or for all the dogs?
For all my dogs, right.
For all my dogs, than to fan the flame of more Pusha T smoke. Honestly, Drake don't got nothing on Pusha. All he could do is have tough guy bars and mock him. If he had it, he would have played the card already.
He would have already done it. This is my thing. He would have already done it.
But now, his impatience, because I think he knew this release was coming, Utopia, and he assumed that Pusha would have fiend to respond to Capo.
I could see that. He would have already jumped out, and then these would have potentially been on the way, right? Like, that was happened about 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. But he figured that Pusha would look at Capo as some kind of tough guy equal. When in reality, I think Pusha drew him out. Yo, he fucked up. He fucked up
Listen,
again.
I think he fucked up the plan. These wasn't supposed to happen until you went at Jimmy. You know what I mean? But
Oh, now he's out once
don't tell me
again.
Drake fucked up the bag, man.
Drake is out in the open. I don't know if you ever seen this movie. It was the first Daniel Craig James Bond movie, Casino Royale, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of that movie, there was a scene with Mr. White. Mr. White was the person who was running Quantums. Bond called him on the phone. He like, yo, who this? Wow, got shot in the leg. Mr. White wasn't prepared. He was out in the open. Bond had to drop. To me, Aubrey's Mr. White. He's out in the open.
He's about to catch that leg shot, man.
He's about to catch that leg shot. It's over with.
He just recovered from the last one.
Oh my God. He ain't recovered. That's the problem. But anyway.
Still walking with a bad lip copy, man. It hurt when it rained.
Re-Up Gang Team, Virginia Wing, all of that shit. This was breaking news coming across the Rap Roundtable's desk. We're going to let y'all get into the lunch hour now. Peace.
Yes, sir.
The Rap Roundtable.
The Rap Roundtable is back with another rendition, another edition of the lunch hour. Sad to say it, but it's only Macito and I for this one. Deanie's a little occupied. Sincere's out being mixy. It's hot in New York City, so you know Sin is outside. You heard? So sadly, you only get your boys, Jog and Mace. Probably the two most annoying hosts on the show. Yeah,
I think we might win that vote. Yeah.
Definitely. Macito, you know, this is our first official episode coming out of the Magic 2 noise that was made. We put out a lot of content dedicated to that. Then we dropped 76. We talked about it there. So, you know, not to say that there's no Nas news, but I think there's nothing more we need to cover on Magic 2. However, it's Hip Hop 50.
Right.
And you know, for the most part, it's been a very unified time in the culture. People are celebrating the space. And then as the noise and the dust settles from Nas, the Nas hurricane that was Magic 2 came through, shook the buildings, kicked up some dust with some fire music, some hip-hop debates, some comment sections and Twitter threads on fire, clicks up on the videos and all of that. MC Shan looked around and essentially said, "Get off my lawn."
He did.
He said there's a Hip Hop 50 concert, in his words, and Nas didn't reach out for him to perform, and it got real nasty. He talked about money, and he basically feels like Nas stabbed him in the back, not reaching out. So I know you got to watch that video of Shan wildin'. OG MC Shan wildin'. Chat.
Yeah, he was.
If y'all didn't see that video, go when you done here, go to Hip Hop DX. Look at your man Shan. Well, Macito, what's going on here, bro? Like MC Shan is a chatty boy.
MC Shan, man, you should come up here, give us a super chat and pull up with us one. Shan's upset, man. He's real upset, getting real vulgar with Nas this week. You know, essentially, basically saying like, you know, to sum it up, because just like you said, the Hip Hop DX has the full scope of everything. He's basically kind of just saying, you know, the shout outs ain't enough. You know what I mean? He want a little bit. He want to eat. You know what I mean?
He wants some of that breach. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nas, I guess, you know, Nas hasn't been doing. You know, there's been plenty of Hip Hop 50 concerts this year. You know what I mean? There's the big one coming up in Yankee Stadium, but they're popping up everywhere, you know, on award shows, on
everything is branded Hip Hop 50.
Exactly. So I guess, you know, Nas and Mass Appeal, they've been doing their own. You know, Nas been on tour like crazy, international. You know, we got the tour coming up with the Woo as well, and I guess MC Shan wasn't called, and he got a little vulgar with our guy, man. Like he's upset about it, Job. Like, you know, like you watched the vid?
I watched it.
How you feel about that, man?
You know, I honestly, bro, I don't want to be one to assume that he has a connection to Nas to where he could just reach out and call the nigga and be like, yo, Esco, you know, I'd love to be part of this Hip Hop 50 celebration. I know you and Woo with y'all getting on stage. Y'all already did a tour last year. Hip Hop 50, you hot as hell right now. You on fire, and I want to get down with that. I don't know if he has that number, but what I do know is there's a right way and a wrong way to go about reaching out to a nigga. Because to me, in Shan's words, they're not friends. They're not like close friends as part of this video, right?
Right.
So if they're not close friends or even friends, what gives Shan the right to be this upset about being invited or lack thereof? Why are you acting betrayed? If Nas is not your friend, and it's not like he's doing a hip hop show where it's KRS-One, Rock M,
Right.
Kane, Roxanne Shante, Run DMC, a litany of all the 80s legends, a litany of the early to mid to late 90s legends, the early aughts legends. If Nas himself is not putting that show together, why is MC Shan in this position on the internet, on his cell phone, holding it in his face, acting this way and talking to Nas that way? My bigger question to you, Mace, and the chat, is did you hit the like button? Did you hit the subscribe button? Because more importantly, as you're here, like we've been saying, a lot of our viewers have not subscribed. If you've yet to do so, hit that button.
Right.
Hit the like button and continue to run those comments up. And of course, share the shit. You know, people who are heads in the space and they've been looking for a podcast that reaches them on a level that the other pods ain't. Do that. Share it, like it, subscribe to it. But the question I have for you, Mace, is MC Shan confusing that Yankee Stadium show with a Nas show? Because there's a Hip Hop 50 show at Yankee Stadium next month. Nas isn't doing a big blowout Hip Hop 50 show with a bunch of legends. Unless Shan got the drop that at that Woo show, niggas is going to be popping out and it's going to be surprise guests on stage. That's a different conversation. But the way he's talking, I think he's confusing that show in the Bronx with some shit Nas is doing.
That may be the case, and you know, I wouldn't put it past, you know, through miscommunication, him being a little misinformed. You know, of course, you know, we're not gonna go into the Queensbridge connection, but I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people. I feel like if Nas was to bring out on tour, that would, you know, that need a tour or a show or a few. I think there's a lot of people that would come before MC Shan, you know what I mean? Like, and, you know, not to delve off topic too much, you know, but even this goes into the Pete Rock conversation, you know what I mean? With Pete Rock, you know, and I think people maybe felt like I was being a little too hard on him when I was asked who's calling Pete Rock, you know what I mean? But the essential thing was this, like, why is Nas responsible for this for you guys? You know what I mean? Like MC Shan, like, why of all the people in hip hop, there's plenty of people that shout out MC Shan. Why of everybody you can call out is Nas the guy that you're cussing out and, you know, is saying like, hey, why the fuck I'm not getting money? Why the fuck I'm not doing this? I feel like Pete Rock did the same thing and now MC Shan is doing it. Like, why are you pointing the finger at him of all people?
You know what's funny? And I'll take it a step further. When Nas wasn't this much of a clickable item before this big run, where he's getting an abundance of flowers, and I'm not talking to the Nas fans. Y'all been doing that. We're talking about everybody else who's late to the party as far as the publications that y'all ask about that say, yo, why is Nas not getting that coverage? Why is Hot 97 not covering him? Why is Hip Hop DX not covering him? Why is Double XL not covering him? Why is 2T's and B Dot not covering him, etc.? Could you notice on 2T's timeline, he has all of a sudden there's a lot of Hit Boy Nas on that timeline all of a sudden, right? Now that Nas is getting the attention from the mainstream platforms, all of a sudden the spicy talk is coming from the likes from Pete Rock, these videos from MC Shan. Like, I would have never guessed that this old wrinkled man will be a clout chaser. Like MC Shan, like, I could see if Shan was like
a little crazy,
44 years old, because 40 is a new 30, shit like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? I could probably get what you talking hot. Because a lot of the niggas that we love in hip hop right now are in their 40s and they talk all kinds of crazy. And we love that shit. You know what I'm saying? For the pod business, it's great. We got something to talk about. As far as being people who ingest content, it's great content, right? Uncle Murder's not in his 30s. Uncle Murder's in his 40s. Yayo's in his 40s. These niggas are entertaining as fuck. 50's in his 40s, entertaining as fuck. If Shan was in his 40s and he did something a little less brash than this, I would have laughed it over and said, "Ah, man, Shan wildin'." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then we would have waited to see what Esco would have said or done. But to watch this old wrinkled man looking like he smoked like nothing but Newports, like he never touched a slip. It's been nothing but Newports the whole time. Go on ahead, basically saying, essentially acting like an old hater saying, "Nas, I can't get money with you." Like if it's Hip Hop 50,
that's what it sounds like.
And we celebrating. We celebrating the culture. Why you, MC Shan, want to come through and act like drunk unk at the cookout that's gonna come and ruin the vibe for everybody by cursing everybody out? Like, what are you doing, Shan? At the end of the day, you could have did a video and just say, "Yo, you know what I'm saying? It's Hip Hop 50 and I want to be a part of something. Y'all got to show Nas. If you got to show, I'm reaching out to you, Nas, because Nas is a big nostalgia junkie, just like us.
Right.
Nostalgia junkie. He love the culture. If he sees a video with Shan and saying, "Yo, it's Hip Hop 50, I'm not doing that. Shows I'm not part of that." You don't think Esco would have reached out to this nigga? Or some promoter somewhere would have said, "Yo, Shan, pull up." But you basically saying, "I can't get money. I can't get to this breach, and I don't need you. Got your money. I don't need your money. I'm gonna get to my money my own way." And fuck you.
Your accolades.
Don't need your accolades. A whole wrinkled middle finger at the end of the video. And shit. You too old for that bullshit, nigga.
You too old for that, bro. You way too old for that. And there's a lot of people who you can blame for not having none of the shit that you think you're supposed to have before Nas. Like, why blame the only person? Now, let me not say only person, but one of the more prominent people that make sure they shout you out and make sure they speak about your influence. And, you know, it's literally because he comes from the same place you did. Like, you can walk around and say, "That's my influence on the game." Shouldn't that be enough? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why you need to blame, like, why him, bro?
Sure, and then why you
blame KRS? He the one that had you done out here, bro.
And why play the keep my name out your mouth game? Like, why you getting so disrespectful? Like, what are we doing, bro?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then,
what's up now, Mace? What's up with these older niggas talking out of turn about shit and don't even have their shit straight?
Listen, man. And then they got mad at academics, right? And I know we don't have necessarily a pro academics viewership ourselves, but when he came out here, he said that the younger generation don't respect the older generation because they out here looking fucked up and they out here hating and they out here mad that the next generation did better than them. They got mad at him, right? You use dudes like LL, you know, in Ice Cube, that's not like that, you know, but for every legend that got everything they was just do, there's 10 that didn't. And I hate to see MC Shan in a position where, like, you just angry, bro. Like, that you should be a mob boss with your feet up, you know what I mean, with a good cigar right now.
And you know what? You hate to see Shan basically prove academics right. Because when Act first said it, we as a podcast got Act out of here. Shan went on Math Pod, if I'm not mistaken, and he got Act out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you turned around and you act like this. You proving Act's point, and it speaks to a deeper issue in rap, where it's like a lot of. I don't know about the other genres because I'm just not versed in it. I don't listen to country music and shit like that. I'm not a big pop music fan. You know what I'm saying? But it feels like in rap, you have your run, and with the exception of a handful of people who were able to convert they musical accolades into bigger business ventures, which allowed them to stay afloat or become moguls in their own right, a lot of rap people, for the most part, they have their moment, they get their check, and then they just fall back to regular status with the ability to get into some rooms because of who they once were.
Right.
And I feel like as rap continues to grow, we got to find a way to where, like, even if you went to the NBA, sports reference, you made enough money to where, like, even if you become a schmeg, your level of schmegdom is not mine. because there was your floor is not my floor. Your floor might be my ceiling, and I want that for rap niggas. Like to where like even if you cash out, there's a way to where like once you fade out of when you become maybe obscurity or you just fade out of the limelight, you're still good enough. We got to find a way to get these guys their masters. Stop signing these bad deals so that as time goes along, you have money where you're not even working and you're generating revenue. Because for him to be this dusty, and this is not me being disrespectful, he made the video, Mace. For him to look the way he looks, when his name rings bells to this day in hip hop, and you gotta cry from your windowsill with your phone in your face to talk crazy about one of the hottest, if not the hottest nigga in rap right now, to get attention, it's disgusting.
It is. A multi-billion dollar industry, and the story can't be told without MC Shan. Don't get that wrong.
There you go.
The story of hip hop cannot be told without MC Shan. So, like, it's crazy to see, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of fucked up to see this shit. You know, like, even the sports reference, even when the NBA saw Bob Cousy was doing bad, they made sure they did something for him. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Bob Cousy always get his pockets lined. There's always some Boston event somewhere, Celtic gathering, autograph signing, something.
Right.
We need that for hip hop. And instead of using the internet for a tool of violence, verbally,
right.
Shan, if you had enough pride to make this video and seem like you don't care about the bread, but clearly you need the bread, go on there and say exactly what you just said, Mace. You can't tell the story of hip hop without MC Shan. I need one of y'all promoters or all of my followers to put on for me and get me seen somewhere so I can get on one of these stages. Nas would have made that call. Yankee Stadium would have found a way. Somebody would have made a way. But this ain't the route. Do better, OG, because this is a battle. This is embarrassing. You acting like a teenage clout chaser, nigga. He ain't gonna dish you either. He gonna treat you how you treated Pete Rock. It's gonna be a little half a bar somewhere. You know what I mean? But
and if he keep your name out his mouth, it might be nobody else saying it. Remember that, Shan.
Straight like that, bro. Straight like that. You barely anybody talking about it as it is. Nas the one keeping your name relevant. But I digress.
I'm in the Rap Roundtable.
Nigga. So this whole thing about Jay-Z, the local celebrity rapper, I feel like whereas Nas gets a lot of universal praise outside of the tri-state area, Jay-Z gets very much a polarizing response, and or there's a lot of people who might go on the internet and lie and say they won't listen to Jay, but privately they do type shit, right?
Right.
So I forgot how it came about.
Somebody was.
I can't remember how it came about, but somehow or the other, Boosie co-signed someone else saying that the South don't listen to Jay-Z like that. You know what I mean? This might have been him.
Right.
He might have been piggybacking off of old Gipper, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean?
And specifically, what he said. You wanted to know specifically what he said was that no real dude from the South, street nigga from the South, something of one of those two phrases,
right,
would have Hov over Boosie, right? Is that what he said?
Along those lines.
Gotcha.
So Boosie doubled down and said they don't really listen to Jay-Z in the South like that. Which doubles down to why at the Rap Roundtable, we call him the local celebrity rapper. Y'all think we're trying to be funny. I mean, we are to a certain degree. Right. But the reality is, as the internet continues the internet and the more people come out and say it, Jay-Z was a tri-state superstar in hip-hop. All them shows, when he was going on tours, those are not real people in the stands. Or they had all the New York transplants from each town they went to were in these arenas that filled them up for all of these tours. When he goes overseas and he's doing the Europe tour and he was cashing out in Europe, those must have been New Yorkers in Europe.
Transplants, probably.
I just this is whole thing where people wonder. There was a quote about Southern bias. And the gentleman said, how does that work? Well, sir, comments like Boosie making that people outside in the South don't really listen to Jay-Z like that is the perfect depiction of Southern bias. And we're not saying that to weaponize down south against New York. It's just the reality is each region in America has regional bias, down to city bias, down to county bias, down to neighborhood bias, down to block bias. Niggas is beefing over blocks. So you telling me that Southern rap fans or Southern rap don't have that same inherent bias that New York niggas, tri-state niggas have? What are you talking about? For Boosie to say that, it's like everybody's going on to the diving board to land their best Jay-Z slander. Jay don't become a nationwide star if the South wasn't listening to this man. T.I. and Jeezy became verified rap superstars because of their one affiliation or affinity for Jay-Z. We're not talking about them niggas in the 90s. We're not talking about the Gippers of the world who lived and died with the Tupacs and all of that, or whatever the case happens with Outkast and Three Stacks and Big Boy and all of that. But Big Boy was on Blueprint too. But I digress. You know what I mean? All of these younger Southern rappers who came up that was rapping a certain kind of way, they looked up to Hov, Rose. All of these guys got their features. They breakthrough feature, and then they later albums, they made sure Hov was on those records, and those records went crazy. Watch What You Say to Me, T.I. The first Maybach music with Rose. All the Jeezy and Hov collabs. Shit, Juvenile wasn't lit in New York until Hov did the Hot remix. The South don't listen to Jay-Z, Mace?
Oh man, we spoke about Boosie not too long ago, and I think me and you both, along with Dean, spoke about how much we were, fans of Boosie. His personality, his come up, his story. Who wouldn't love a Boosie interview, right? We're not trying to pay you racks like Vlad do, so don't come over here with that Boosie. But we'd love you to come over to the Rap Roundtable, Boosie, to have a chat about this even. But I wanted to bring up, what he said. He said that, nobody in the South, no real nigga in the South, real street nigga in the South, would have Boosie over Jay-Z. So I made a comprehensive list of, rappers who have named Boosie in their top 5 and Jay-Z in their top 5.
Oh shit, let me hear
okay, so for Jay-Z, we have T.I., we have Jeezy, we have Lil Wayne, we have Rick Ross, we have Lil Baby, we have what's up a name there? Oh, I started going into rappers from all over the place, but those because as crazy as it sounds, there's not a Big Boy Adam as well as Killer Mike. There's not a lot of rappers from the South that list their top 5, but those are the rappers that have Jay-Z in their top 5. For Boosie, we have Moneybagg Yo.
That's it? That's it?
Yes, that's it. So apparently there's only one real street nigga that exists in the South, according to Boosie. You know what I mean?
And you know what? Let's be fair. Let's throw that. Let's call it what it is. We talked about it on 76. There's way more Southern people than New Yorkers, right?
Absolutely.
So of course, there's a segment of people who are gonna take Boosie over Jay-Z, obviously. But then that comes into regional bias. And people, when they hear the word bias, they always hold it in a negative connotation, not understanding that your bias, when it comes to inherent bias, is based on your environment. A nigga like Boosie is gonna be able to talk to a common Southerner or a street nigga, in his words, right? Because he's speaking a language that he understands.
Right.
A dude in the trap, some 16, 17-year-old dude right now in the trap, 25-year-old dude in the trap, why would he listen to Jay-Z? They're not speaking the same language. They don't have the same experiences. Boosie has those experiences.
Right.
Same way how New York niggas gravitate towards ours, because as much as we might think they're the best, the way they divulge their experiences speaks to shit that we can relate to, nigga. When Fabulous was on one of his career runs, we love Loso because Loso spoke like he never left Brooklyn. Like he got his bag, and he was still in Brevoort. He spoke like a regular New York street nigga. We all wanted to be Fab at one point because he was talking to his lifestyle, and the shit he was talking about was shit that we was living. You know what I mean? So of course there are a segment of motherfuckers that's gonna say, yeah, I'd rather listen to Boosie because it's what you relate to. But if we talking about skill and greatness and all this and that and who listens to what, stop using the South don't listen to Jay-Z as a way to knock him down a peg. Because you're not having, so I just broke down regional bias and understanding what's the relationship of the artist. You're not saying that. You're using it as a way to indirectly hate on this nigga and knock him down a peg. And that shit is corny. Because the thing is, as soon as we say niggas in New York not listening to Boosie, oh, the New York niggas is biased. Why do they get to say shit like that, but we can't?
And it's not lost on me. Just like the last segment I mentioned, everybody blaming Nas. It's not lost on me that all of you people that aren't from New York apparently use Jay-Z as the measuring stick for whether somebody is good or not. You always randomly just bring them up. I don't know if it's the interviewers. I know you have a possibility to say, well, you know, I'm not answering that question if they just randomly ask you a Jay-Z question. So I feel like Gip and Boosie might have brought them up themselves, is what I'm saying. So it's not lost on me that every time you want to talk about who's great, there's like, you know, one guy you bring in.
It's hate, bro. At this point, it gotta be hate. Because the thing is, you know, it ain't like Hov is like Ren and 10 from that movie Brown Sugar, where he's obviously some fucking vulture who don't give a fuck about rap.
Right.
So if you want to play the protect the culture shit, you know, niggas love to protect the culture. You know what I mean? Niggas love that'd be their favorite shit to do. If you want to play the protect the culture card, and don't play with Jay. There's no reason to knock him down the pack. Because again, I don't give a fuck what anybody got to say. You call me a Hovenger, whatever you. Great. I call myself a Hovenger, so you're not really breaking new ground. In real time, 98 through 03. Fuck 96 and 97 because he was still building up. But specifically 98 through 03, early 04 even. He was doing things that all of these niggas you say that they're better than him were not doing it, and they never had the career. Boosie never even had a month like that. Outside of that little run he had with Webby, right?
Write me down. That's my shit,
on a nationwide level. We're not talking regional shit. On a nationwide level, he can't talk to Jay-Z. Boosie never converted his regional greatness into nationwide greatness. Because now if you want to start breaking niggas down, a lot of niggas turned their regional shit in the South into nationwide shit during that time.
Sir.
Gucci. What we talking about?
Jeezy, T.I., Wayne. This was the era of
I don't give Wayne because Wayne was Wayne for a very long time via Cash Money.
Right.
All them niggas in the fucking trap. Oh, Future, nigga. Future was regional. He converted it. Rose converted
you
it.
out of Baton Rouge. NBA YoungBoy sell more records than anybody in the last 15 years, bro.
The niggas out of Texas, nigga. They did it. They converted it. Shit, Webby was a bigger star than Boosie at one. That girl, that give me that pussy. Come on, son. What we talking about?
We got more niggas from Boosie. I ain't gonna lie. And we love Boosie over here, but let's be honest.
Boosie converted being a real nigga into an online personality. He's more lit for his interviews and his bars on a nationwide level. Regionally, he's bigger for his music. Boosie can't come and sell out the Apollo, nigga.
Nah.
Can Boosie go to Chicago and sell out a show?
Can he go anywhere above that Southern Belt? Let's be real.
I'm just asking. Can he sell out a whole arena? Can Boosie do an arena? Can he do the Miami Heat arena? Can he sell that out?
I know he go to LA shows. He doing shows right now with him and Jeezy, like the co-headlining type of situation, and I don't believe they arenas, to be honest with you. And Jeezy is the guy, you know. We love Jeezy, so come on now.
Come on, bro.
Come on.
I don't mean to bloviate, but it's like Stop using these indirect means of hate to knock niggas down. If you don't like Jay-Z, I always say, if you don't like Hov, just say that. But these long-winded routes and latching on to other artists to knock them down a peg, bro, is fucking corny. But we gotta move on. I'm getting off my soapbox, Mace. Chat, I know y'all going in, but y'all gotta feel me on that. It's not even about, because I'm not even asking y'all to say that Jay is great. I'm just saying, like, we overdoing the slander now. It's overdoing it. We talk about Nas. You want to put a Pac, Big, Nas, fucking niggas in the Wu-Tang, niggas out west above Jay. I can live with all of that. But now we Uzi, like, stop.
Right.
Speaking of the West Coast.
Yeah.
Keefy D out of the game. Blaming Diddy for his issues with Pac and I don't, what? Mace, help?
Man, Keefy D at it again. You know, I guess I got Keefy D said, fuck it, I'm gonna go out like kamikaze, right? Shout to Art of Dialogue, because I don't know, like, Art, man, like, I don't know if he, you know, he be having some mushrooms in the studio. I don't know if he be having the good Douce, or we'll say Henny, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he got the nice Henny.
He not drinking, you know? He not drinking Douce.
You said Georgie got in there, man?
Nah, if it's Jay, it's Douce is Hov's drink. You know, Hov's
right.
Persona non grata on a dialogue. You know what I mean?
Nas Henny bottle is special, man. The gallon, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, Art get them to talking, maybe even more than Vlad these days, man. Nice. Like Vlad got the reputation, but basically, like Keefy D is, you know, doing what there's been rumored, right? It's rumored for a while. He's basically alluding that Puff, you know, is the reason that he's in everything he's in the middle of. You know what I mean? Like basically kind of saying like, you the reason that, you know, both the empires went down, you the only one doing good. Like, he talking kind of crazy in there. Like, Jov, listen, Keefy D, we gonna be honest about him, certified and known rap. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Federal, like it's on paper. Like this ain't no, like this is same way as 6ix9ine. Keefy D's on the same time. You know what I mean? So he everybody know he's down to tell. So I'm gonna be honest with you. It's weird that of all the things he's told, he hasn't already told this, right? Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting that I feel like he's kind of cashing in on the rumors a little bit. You know, basically saying like, yeah, Puff had something to do with it. He's the reason we in the middle of this shit, because a couple interviews before, he's basically saying like, yo, you doing good. You a billionaire. Like, you know, come do something for me. Me and my guys doing bad. You know, he kind of giving off that begging energy that Shan was giving off in the you know, the last, you know, kind of like, please, can I get some? You know, so did you get to watch the video, Joe?
Bro, it's this is nasty. I don't like shit like this. Nasty. I'm gonna be honest with you, because it goes back to what I said to y'all on 76. The first time, let's say, matter of fact, let's role play. Pause. I'm Art, you're Keefy D.
Right.
Chat, bear with me for a second. Make sure if you haven't hit that like button, make sure you do that too, because I'm going to do this and subscribe as well. I'm Art. Keefy D comes to, yo, Keefy, appreciate you coming on to the Art of Dialogue. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know you were in the teeth of everything. You were in the trenches. You know, that East Coast, West Coast rivalry. And I think it would be great for the culture to hear from someone who was really in that shit and not a rapper who's just making up things to sell some records. You know what I mean? That's how that conversation might have sounded like when I spoke to Keefy the first time. And when he did do the first couple of interviews, because the East Coast, West Coast rivalry is so polarizing that a person like Keefy can get into that interview the first time around and shed light on things that people may or may not have already known. And that's great. Niggas love a cool story. Niggas love an introspective story. Why you think Woj is so lit with the NBA? When you get that inside info from someone who's actually there, there's no better source. It's the same reason why Gip is who he is, because Gip was in a lot of rooms. I'll never take that away from old Gipper. It's just that when you start to hate, I start looking at you crazy. But at a certain point, yo, Keefe, I'm art again. Yo, Keefe, that interview was amazing. Look at the numbers on YouTube. It's going crazy. You kind of helped make my channel lit with these Tupac stories. Hey, fam, let's do it again. After the second or third interview, right? Every sequel deserves a good trilogy, am I right?
Right.
You tell all of these stories. But if I keep asking you to come back, and now you're the guest, Keefe, and you see the stats the same way I see the stats, you get into thinking that you're a star now. You're a star podcast guest. I'm the West Coast Boosie. I have something to say. But the reality is, Keefe don't live a life that Boosie is living. Keefe is not a rapper. Nobody wants to hear him talk. He don't got no real nigga story where he went to jail being a real nigga and came home. Because remember, we celebrated when Boosie came home now. We wanted Boosie to win.
Remember,
we still want Boosie to win.
Shout to Boosie, man.
That's a fact. We've rolled with Boosie, even the whole shit that I don't agree with. Am I gonna stop being a Boosie fan? Hell no, I love me some Boosie. Pause. Keefe D's not Boosie. He doesn't have shit. He don't got shit else to talk about. So I'm art now. Yo, Keefe, it's part 4, it's part 5. Keefe D now has to take the Gipper approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I got some shit for you this time, fam. Watch what I'm about to say. Because at this point, once you become self-aware, you know that niggas know who you are for the shit you say on the podcast. You now try to take the role of co-host as opposed to pod guest and try to raise the stakes by saying some crazy shit to get in them clicks, to go viral on Twitter, Instagram, the blog sites, the hip-hop sites, YouTube. Anything that Keefe D says now is for the sole purpose of getting his name to trend. Right. That shit he said about Puff, trending. We here talking about it, ain't we?
We are. Go. So let's address the elephant in the room, because I know the chat's going crazy right now. So this is basically, let's address it, right? The rumor goes is this, that Puffy put the bounty on the death row chains.
Mm-hmm.
That Orlando Anderson snatched a death row chain from an affiliate in the mall, Lakewood Mall. We all heard about it. The affiliate Orlando Anderson was then spotted by Tupac in death row in the casino. They stomped him out, and later that night, we know it ended up happening to Tupac. So Keefe D is basically cashing in on those rumors, right? But I want Tupac fans to understand this, because I know Tupac fans are like, I'm a Pac fan. We know this. I know they all are saying it's like the aha moment for everyone. You know what I mean? It's the, see, he did have something to do with it. Fuck Puffy, you know. But we gotta remember this. We relying on the word of the man that we know. The last living man that was in the car that killed Pac is Keefe D. We want to rest on his word. We want to latch on to what he's saying. We want to view more Art of Dialogue videos, putting up one of the niggas that killed Pac and only claim the fame at this point is being one of the guys that killed Pac. We can't get this guy no more gasoline. You know, Pac fans have their theories about Diddy and what he had to do with it or what he didn't have to do with it. But let's not let Keefe D be the one that we ride with on
Especially
this one. That's against our morals, man.
Keefe has a role to play. He's not coming there this is not 60 Minutes. Nigga, this ain't real news. He's coming there to entertain. So whatever he needs to say or lean into to get niggas to talk about him, he's gonna say it, nigga.
Right. He didn't say that in that interrogation room when he was under oath. So you know why he's saying it now. He said a lot more then.
That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Everything about the bounty, fantastic. When I look at Keefe D, I don't see a trustworthy source.
Exactly.
I see a nigga.
That's what I'm trying to say.
He's getting paid to do these pod interviews. Them shit ain't free. You know what I mean? So
everything got to get better every time, like you said.
That's it, bro. That's how I'm looking at it. Fuck out of here, bro. And honestly, if you out here, let me rephrase. I'm not saying don't support all the dialogue. What I'm saying is niggas like Keefe D, don't support them.
Exactly.
Ark can interview mad other niggas.
Art got hundreds of other interviews, bro.
There you go. Because at the end, like what we really have to realize is that culture vulturing comes in so many various forms. And what Keefe's doing is a form of culture vulturing. And I gotta get up out of here. Like, you making bread off the dead. Pac not here to refute shit. Let that man rest.
Come on.
What we doing? But let's get him out of here. Let's get into the fast break, mates.
Let's go.
So, a couple of records came out or circulated on the internet.
Right.
NLE Chopper is getting hot. And then let's stay right there for a second. Action. First and foremost, my question is, who told NLE Chopper that we needed a remake of Nelly's It's Getting Hot in Here? It's not even old enough for a proper remake. And Nelly, that's a song that needs to sit with Nelly and Nelly alone. So it's garbage. The people on it, his initial post for that song got 10,000 comments. For all my Twitter heads, that's called a ratio. He got ratioed on the internet because the song and the video is so bad. Even Rory from the Rory Amal show had put a tweet out asking why do we need this? So Mace, maybe this falls in line with the young rap niggas. The fuck is this?
Right. Some of the worst garbage that you'll ever hear. Like, I don't want y'all to think that this is not that part of the Rap Roundtable, guys. Me and y'all both here, we like NLE Chopper. We have joints that, you know what I mean? We fuck with them. Like, you know, these last couple joints, starting with the Sexy Red joint, been a little questionable. But man, just almost parody like if you told me this was a Mad TV skit, I wouldn't have been, you know, like surprised. Like, it didn't even seem real. Like the throwback jersey he wore looked fake. The baggy jeans he had wasn't starched enough. We didn't even have those headbands back then. He should have had the Nike one. Like, everything was off, you know. But just listen, the youngins, man. Like, I don't know who necessarily started this wave. It may be the next person we talking about. It may be I don't know, Coil Ray is getting hot off these samples. We know Hitmaker does this with everything, but just falling in line perfectly with everyone who says, yo, the youngins are doing samples so terrible. I try to fight for them, y'all. All the time. I try to say, listen, man, like, it ain't for you. You know, like, that's the same thing all grandparents and all parents and aunts and uncles were saying about us when we was sampling the Isleys and, you know, all that. But listen, man, this is garbage.
And you know what? In the past, our parents and even Sin used to bash the young niggas, but Sin was a little early because the young niggas he was bashing were actually semi-decent. Like, even the young niggas is not getting behind this NLE record. 10,000 comments? It ain't 10,000 old niggas. The song is garbage. The song is garbage. I think Lola Brooke tried to drop a sample record a couple weeks back. That went nowhere.
But grinding.
Yeah.
Right. She sampled grinding.
It was that and another one. It wasn't even just grinding. So it was another record.
Oh, man. Flo Milli just did a Milli. Right?
There you go. And these songs, it's like, because of where the internet is right now, everything, it's like they just go for the shot click, the quick viral click, the TikTok run. You dig?
Right.
And it's not really substantive music. So the samples are gonna suffer because it's one thing to find because remember them songs back in them days, 6, 7, 8 minute R&B songs, jazz records, soul records, funk, with no lyrics sometimes.
Right.
It's one thing to now take like maybe 15 seconds and have 2 separate loops within one beat from the same situation, or a couple of seconds and just loop that up and really find real intricate loops to where niggas like Craven gotta say no sample snitching because you really sought out this song, flipped it, looped it, and made some fire out of it, right? It's another thing to just do some generic lazy remake. Niggas used to call it Bad Boy lazy, but Bad Boy is really not even doing this shit. Bad Boy is trying to take the song to the next level. They were putting some of these classic 70s songs that they were sampling on steroids. Mm-hmm. And in some cases they did. Or they made it hip hop.
Mm-hmm. And they were writing great songs and putting great rap verses on there. Wow. You know what I mean? Wow. Like, come on, man.
Like, for you to take these classic rap songs, whether regional wise or nationwide, and not even trying to, like, you're not even trying to add a little extra seasoning or pizzazz to it to make it your own. You're just changing the tempo, speeding up the sample a little bit, raising the fucking BPM out of the world, and then just putting it out there so that it sounds familiar enough for niggas like us to like it and for the young kids to get behind it. And then you got the young niggas bashing it. Then we got fucking like Lotto and Rakim with Technique. I saw the shit on the Sprite commercial. And let me be clear. I don't got too much to say about this song, Mace. But Lotto don't sound right on that kind of vibe.
Nah.
Don't get me wrong. Southern people do sound, to me, and I remember saying this back in the early aughts. When Southern niggas get in a New York bag, a lot of them sound real good. Like, it's something about that accent with the New York cadence that just, it's really good. Like, T.I. was one of the first niggas. 50 was a New York nigga who bit the South shit.
Right.
And he made it work. And it was like, ooh, this is, you know what I mean? This is all right. Then T.I. was rhyming like that. Shit, go back to 3 Stacks. Some niggas with that twang, with the East Coast pocket work, fire. To me, Lotto, I don't hear it. Like, I don't even like her voice so much. Like, to me, her voice and the way, like, she puts her bars together, I don't really think it works on that record. Like, she sounds completely out of place.
And I'm sick of the false advertising, just like Swizz did with Wayne and DMX, and then he later did with Wayne, Jay-Z, if I remember. Like, they made it seem like Rakim and Lotto were gonna be trading bars like Jada and Styles in their prime, bro. Like, no, you're just sampling something lazy like you've been doing for the last 10 songs and like every other rapper. Like, this is, you know, I remember the conversations. We was trying to crack the code. We was trying to figure out, like, what's going to come of all these motherfuckers selling their catalogs. This terrible music where they're sampling shit and it doesn't even fucking matter like anything about whether the song is good or not. So thanks guys for selling your catalogs and giving us this shit.
These niggas can't even sell their fucking catalogs because the records don't have legs. You know what I mean? And you know what's even funny and Mace is like, Lotto clearly, she raps. She's a rapper.
Right.
She's moving like a pop act. She clearly has handlers telling her what move to make next, what trend to get on next. She's always on trend now.
Right.
And to me, this is not, you didn't do this for the love. You could have remade a slew of classic Southern records. This was put together by her team, and she was complicit because it's a great look for hip hop 50. It's clickable. We gotta call it what it is. I'd have rather her do some Southern shit. I got 5 on it. Why not remake that?
Listen, man.
You know, Gangsta
Ludacris records, Jeezy records.
Come on.
You know, T.I. records. There's plenty of joints. Juvenile records, Cash Money, No Limit. You know what I mean? But what did you say
Didn't
about
they have a shorty in Atlanta?
Song?
Wow, which designer song?
His what's that designer song? Oh man,
this is recent.
Nah, his most famous song, y'all. What's that song again?
Panda.
There we go. I think that might be it.
Panda. Yeah. Pandering.
Yeah.
But if the South was on top, what you need to pander to us for?
Hey. Niggas want them real hip hop points, man.
What's real hip hop? The South not real hip hop?
Oh, I didn't say it.
I'm not saying it either. But the actions of the handlers of Lotto from Atlanta is saying it. She couldn't have remade a fucking Dungeon Family record? Outkast? Goody Mob?
Hey. 3-6 Mafia, you know what I mean?
Shit, 8 Ball or MJG? Like, these niggas exist.
UGK is fire.
That's all I'm saying, people.
Hey,
don't misread what we saying.
MC, man.
Last but not least, before we get out of here, I just want to take a little shot at Kevin Durant. And it's not because I don't like KD. I'm not one of these niggas on the internet who wants to argue with Kevin Durant. In fact, I'm usually 9.5 times out of 10, I am on the side of KD with all of his internet capers. Because to me, people are just ridiculous on the internet. And they feel like they have a right to say certain things to famous people and that they wouldn't say in person. And in fact, if they saw them in person, they would ask for an autograph. Let me make that clear. Right. I'm not one of these niggas. But he said that Central C, UK rapper, is Rookie of the Year. And to me, it felt like KD was trying to flex his hip hop knowledge to show how tapped in he is. Like he pulled the LeBron on us. KD's really ahead. KD was on the internet quoting Makami, nigga. You know what I'm saying? He's ahead.
I remember.
LeBron got so mad all of a sudden he wanted to start listening to Ransom and 38 Special and all of that because KD made it cool to listen to the boom bap niggas. And heaven forbid the hip hop connoisseur LeBron James is left out of that situation. I didn't believe LeBron when it came to 38 Special Rand and Griselda and all that because he was never doing it before. KD really liked that. You know what I'm saying?
KD was rolling through New York listening to that shit. So I know he was really rocking to it.
But I feel like he reaching with this Central C thing to really show how far and wide his reach is with hip hop. You know Centch is not Rookie of the Year. Central C is fire in his own right. Got a little freestyle with Aubrey. That with Aubrey went viral for combination and all of that other shit. But Rookie of the Year, stop. There's enough of it. Yo, if anybody's Rookie of the Year, it's Simba. It's not Central C. What you think about that, Mace?
Shouts to Simba. Rookie of the Year, it's kind of hard because of all the, because if we still count on Glorilla as a rookie, I'm still taking Glorilla, you know what I mean? If we talking, to be honest with you, so nah, like I don't believe that. If we talk about artists that are still in their first album cycle, or our first albums haven't come yet, Central C just had the crazy joint with Dave. We're not trying to shit on our boy Cinch. Me and John both rock with him. But Rookie of the Year, nah, I wouldn't even say top 3, to be honest with you.
Rookie of the Year for the UK scene.
Yeah, there we go.
But that's where it stops. Rap Rookie of the Year, nah. Because at this point now, if you telling me Central C is Rookie of the Year and he's standing next to Drake doing freestyles and all this and that, I might want to start calling Central C a plant. You know what I mean?
Listen,
we already see the powers that be. I told y'all before when Nas dropped, the bullshit starting out of nowhere now. Fucking NLE with that, it's getting hot record. Lotto now getting the rollout for Technique. The powers that be don't want you to pay attention to the fire shit. They want you on that bullshit. So let me find out now that they told KD to say this shit for one of the scribes to go viral. You know what I mean? I'm saying, just be careful. I don't want to call Central C an industry player because I like him. But if too many people with high followings on the internet are giving him cosigns near a potential rollout, he might be a plant, Cinch.
Listen, man, and I'm team OVO to my last days, but listen, my boy's a clout chaser like a motherfucker. So once I see Drake around you, I'm like, hold up, man. Let me pull your car real quick.
Let me investigate.
Yeah, man.
Sexy Red, Central C in the same week? Crazy.
Listen, man, that's kind of crazy, bro.
Crazy. But anyway, we're gonna wrap up the lunch hour right here. We hope that you didn't get fired. Big shout out to Sincere the Rap Snob. Big shout out to the Dini the Balance. Big shout out to everybody in the chat who's been fucking with us. Big shout out to the new subscribers who pulled up and got our numbers where they need to be at as far as the views. The subs have gone up. And again, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like. And when you hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell because YouTube be playing with the notifications. If you don't believe us, ask the people in the chat. We go live, we drop this episode. Chances are you probably didn't even get notified because YouTube, for some reason, they don't always notify. But do everything you can and make sure that you do get notified and tap in with the Rap Roundtable. Until next time, it's your boy Jarv, Necito. Peace.
We out of here, man.